At this stage of intelligence analysis, we will use the tools that we have learned previously, and we will have a quick recap. We begin with root cause analysis, or RCA. RCA helps us separate the immediate symptoms of an incident from the underlying systemic deficiencies. One of the most common tools is the 5 whys technique. If a worker is injured because they weren't wearing a hard hat, that's just the symptom. We ask why. Maybe they weren't trained, maybe supervision was weak, or maybe the culture rewards speed over safety. RCA keeps peeling back layers until we reach the true organizational cause. In technical forensics, we categorize events into symptom events, the visible failure, and root cause events, which are the actual source of the failure. The goal is always the same: identify the systemic flaws in policies, oversight, or technical configurations. Next, we use hypothesis testing. Modern investigative standards require a scientific approach. We develop multiple working hypotheses, rival, and even contradictory theories to avoid tunnel vision. This prevents what's called intellectual affection, where an investigator becomes attached to a single theory too early. Each hypothesis is broken down into components, and we assign truth values between 0 and 1. If any critical component is proven false, that hypothesis is eliminated. Through this chiseling process, we test each theory against the evidence until only the most plausible scenario remains. Then we move into credibility assessment. When accounts conflict, we can't rely on gut feelings. Credibility involves both honesty, whether someone intends to tell the truth, and reliability, whether their memory or perception is accurate. We use standardized factors to make defensible assessments. We look at inherent plausibility. Does the story make sense and fit the probabilities? We examine motive to falsify. Does the person have a reason to lie or minimize their role? We check corroboration. Does the statement align with objective evidence like emails or access logs? And while demeanor can be noted, modern standards warn us not to rely on it. Fidgeting or nervousness is not a reliable indicator of deception. Finally, we apply pattern analysis. This means looking for structure, trends, and periodicity across different data sets. We analyze whether an incident is isolated or part of a broader pattern of behavior. In fraud cases, we may use mathematical tools like Benford's law to check whether financial numbers follow expected probability distributions. If they don't, that's a strong indicator of manual manipulation. We also visualize influence networks mapping repeated interactions or relationships to uncover covert links or informal networks that may drive conformity, collusion, or coordinated misconduct. So in this stage, we're not just assembling facts, we're interpreting them. We're identifying root causes, testing competing theories, evaluating credibility, and analyzing patterns. This is where evidence becomes insight, and insight becomes a defensible conclusion about what truly happened and why.